name is Jamie. I have a makeup collection that just keeps getting larger, but not today. Today the goal is to make it smaller. So, if that interests you, let's talk about it. Oh my god, I have the two cutest cats in the whole entire world. Just so you know. I'm gonna put my hair up because I don't want to deal with it right now. We're ready. My hair's up, we're ready. So, there's gonna be 3 categories. I'm gonna have keep, boyfriend's house, go. So, we'll start there. So I should mention I also have 98 palettes as of today, and yeah, that's not a number I'm comfortable with. I'm not gonna declutter just to declutter. I am gonna kind of rationalize what I have used, and I could also get out my computer and check like what palettes I use the least amount of in this year, but I'm not gonna do that because I don't have time and I don't want to. I'm just gonna go kind of based on what I feel. I'm just gonna go ahead and clarify that I'm not gonna get rid of any of my Beauty Bay or any of my Be Perfect palettes. So I'm not even gonna go through those shelves. I'm just not gonna today. It's just a no. I am, that said, I am kind of thinking I might take this Carnival All-Stars palette to my boyfriend's house. Although I really like this Starlight shade, this shade. And I just, see, now that I have the Carnival XL remastered, I don't need this with me, but I don't want to like declutter it or get rid of it or anything, but I also just don't necessarily need it in my house. So in order to have kind of a fun palette at his house, I'm gonna go ahead and take it to his. I have 3 quads from ColourPop. I have the Never Tore Us Apart, Like a Virgo, and Head Capricorn in Charge. These 3 are all gonna go to my boyfriend's house. I think that's a good place for them to live. And I have this Neon Gaze palette. I can get rid of this. I've never used this. I've reached for it one time in this whole year, and I think it is just not for me. It's just not for me. Bam, 1 down. Okay, this was a disappointment. This is actually a counterfeit item. This is supposed to be the Deuce by Juvia's place, and I ordered it from an online source here in Saudi Arabia. And let's see, look closely. You'll see it. Do you see it yet? Yeah, you do. So that I am gonna straight throw away. It is gonna go in the garbage. I hate getting counterfeit products. Like, fuck off, you know what I mean? And also, you can't find this palette anywhere anymore, so, meh. I just got a wild hair one day and I bought it, and then it was like 10 bucks, so I kind of was like, it's gonna be a toss-up of whether or not it's counterfeit. It was counterfeit. This shall go to no one. I'm gonna throw this away. It's not safe. Next up, I have these 2 palettes. I have the Star Ranch and the Mini Blood Sugar palette. I'm gonna take this to my boyfriend's house, and there it shall wait and see if I use it. If I don't use it, I will declutter it. This is the Stone Vibes palette. I'm not getting rid of that. Some singles, not getting rid of those. From Lethal, I have the Berlin 89 palette and I have my custom palette. I'm keeping both of these for sure. Okay. This I might declutter. I've not used it. Like, well, or I've used it, but I'm not like in love with it really. I think I'm gonna declutter it. What I'm gonna do is in my declutter pile, I'm gonna start doing a series, and it's gonna be basically like, I'm gonna give this palette one last try before I declutter it, and it's just gonna be like a shorts series. So I can try them one more time, see what I think. It'll be like the chopping block situation, and then if I like it, it can stay. If I don't like it, it'll go. I'm thinking, that's what I'm thinking. Yes. I have 2 Adept palettes. I'm not gonna get rid of either of these. These are great. I have the Plain Jane Remastered and the Heather Austin palette. Those both are for me. Those are mine. I have 3 Huda Beauty palettes, and these all can stay. I have the Rose Quartz palette, the Mercury Retrograde palette, and the Emerald Obsessions palette. I should probably declutter this. It's, you know, no, never mind. Never mind. Shut up, Jamie. You don't need to do anything you don't want to do. Okay. So you'd think I'd get rid of this. I ain't gonna. She's going nowhere. I am going to, however, this one. I think I'm gonna declutter this one because I'm like, well, I could take it to my boyfriend's house, but see, like, what is in here that isn't in here? You know what I mean? And that's the decision. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay. Next up, Terra Moons. I have 2 of these. I'm not getting rid of them. You've seen them recently-ish, I suppose. Sort of. You've sort of seen them recently. Okay. These are 2 smaller ones. I have the Juvia's Place Rebel Honey. I'm gonna put this in a, I'm gonna consider it palette, or I'm gonna consider it. This, I don't use this. Can you understand why? It's not like it's bad quality or anything. It's just not really my jam. Like, I think that especially when I do get my Interstellar palette, I'm gonna have everything that I wanted from here in that palette. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and declutter it. I'm gonna put that in my maybe pile, actually. Maybe. My boyfriend really likes it when I wear neutrals. Next up, I have a pile of ColourPop. I don't anticipate any of these going anywhere. These are the most recent, like, Star Wars palettes. I'm not getting rid of those, obviously. The Child palette, that's not going anywhere. These may go live at my boyfriend's. This is the Baroque palette. I did not use this year. This is the Ornate palette. And then this is the Grandeur palette. And I really like this palette. It does have pressed glitters, but you know my thoughts on pressed glitters. I don't really care. I think these are gonna go live at my boyfriend's until I'm ready to let go of them, and I'm not quite ready yet. A Wannabe palette, and also the Sprinkle a Little Magic palette. This is not gonna go anywhere. This is for me. Star Wars palette. This is staying, obviously. I just got this not too long ago. And this is the Lust for Dusk palette. I'm wondering if this can go to my boyfriend's. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Again, he kind of likes and prefers when I do like neutrally pretty girlish looks, so I'm gonna kind of gear that direction. Okay. And I'm gonna keep this. I don't use it and I need to use it, but I'm still gonna keep it regardless. I have 2 BH palettes and I'm thinking, I think I'm gonna take this to my boyfriend's. Actually, I might take both of them to my boyfriend's. I'm gonna take, this is the F Off palette. This is the Let That Whatever Go palette. Great quality on both of these palettes, but I just don't get a lot of use out of them. And that's kind of why I'm having a boyfriend stack too. Because if there are palettes that I'm not just like using in my everyday and I want to get ready at his house, then it might just be easier to, like, I may end up having more use for them there, you know? I may split up the gang here. I have the Paris palette, what is it? The Passion in Paris palette and the Blueberry Muffin palette. Both of these are good and I don't really think to use them. Really lovely. I'm gonna hang on to them for now. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to them for now. I have the Taupes by Juvia's Place. I really like this palette. I'm not getting rid of it. It's gonna stay with me. And I have the Chocolates palette. I really like this. It's gonna stay. This, I am de-ass cluttering. Goodbye. I mean, we're gonna do that thing that I talked about, but for now, declutter. So I have the Nomad and I have the Warrior. I think I like both of them, but I don't get nearly enough use out of them. I think this one, the Warrior, I think I'm gonna take it to my boyfriend's house. Yeah, well, I'm gonna put this in a maybe pile, actually. And I'm gonna keep the Nomad. I really like that palette. Next up, I almost wanna say I'm going to, I almost wanna say I'm gonna sanitize this and put it in my kit because I've never used it. Like, I've maybe used this red one time and that's it. I might do that. I don't know. Because it's not like it's bad. There's just like some blush shades. There's some like bronzing shades if I really wanted to in this. So I might do that. That's kind of an unexpected turn, but it's just like, I know I got that in like a pack of something. I wouldn't have bought it like by itself. You know what I mean? But it came in like a bundle. And I was like, oh, okay, I can maybe see a use for, no, I can't. I don't see a use for that on me, but I can see it like for blushes on different skin tones, stuff like that. This is a weird one. I've never used, I think I've maybe used this once. My first inclination with this is to get rid of it, but I kind of want to try it. I want to try it, but I'm gonna put it in Declutter and then I'm gonna try it and do a chopping block round with it, and yeah, we'll see. This one, I am decluttering this. I don't use it. I've tried to use it and I just don't really like the color story. Nah. Next up is the Nubian 2, and it's nice. I don't want it. I think I've just outgrown this formula quite a bit. I think I'm gonna declutter it. I'm gonna keep this. This is the Valhalla 2. I did use this recently and it was super fun. I'm gonna keep it. I like it. People don't like it because of the pressed glitters. I don't care. Okay, goodbye. I'm decluttering this. I will chopping block around it, but that is it. I was not happy with how this palette performed whatsoever. Saga Freya, the Freya Saga palette. So this is the 2-parter. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep this. I really like it. I wore it enough. This, I may not even like chopping block this. I may just try to give this away because I've barely touched it. This is the Alva palette, and it's just too neutral. It's just too neutral. Do I put it in my boyfriend pile? Do I? I'm gonna put it in my boyfriend pile. I'll see. This is the Alva 2. I'm keeping it. I like the pressed glitters in it. People don't, I do. This is the Norns palette. I really like this palette. This was in my top 10 for this year. Palette, I'm keeping it. This is for me. So I've never successfully used this palette. This is the Hydrographic palette by Sample Beauty. I like the idea of Sample Beauty. I've just never really quite gotten into it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna actually put this in the boyfriend pile and see if there's ever a way for me to actually utilize it. Or, no, I'm gonna declutter it. I'm gonna declutter it. I don't use this. And it's expired. I'm not getting rid of this. No, never mind. Yeah, it's fine. Same with this. You could not pry this out of my cold, dead hands. No. I have 2 BH palettes. These are the Zodiac palettes. I've used these in videos recently, so I'm not going to declutter them. I can use them in that series in that way. I have the Amore Mariposa. I like this palette. And I have the She's in Parties. This is going to go to my boyfriend's until further notice. For sure. And then I also have the Gemini palette. This is gonna stay with me. This is the KVD Edge of Reality palette. And while I've worn this palette, I don't wear it a lot. And I think I'm gonna get better use out of it I think I'm gonna get better use out of it at my boyfriend's house. I think it's gonna be a nice palette to have there. This is my Metropolis palette. The only Natasha Denona I have, and I'm gonna keep it. This I'm not gonna get rid of. This is the original Jaclyn Hill Morphe collaboration palette, and while I don't buy any more Morphe, I think this palette is great and I still use it every now and again, so I'm gonna keep it. This is the 35C, and while this is like a nice palette, I don't think I am gonna ever use it again. I'm gonna put it on the chopping block. I can declutter it. This is the Surge palette from Blend Bunny, keeping it. And then this is the Serenity palette from Cosmic Brushes, definitely keeping. This is so pretty, so pretty. This is my Feet on the Ground palette made by Mitchell. I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it here for now. I'm not 100% convinced by the formula right now. Since I've used other things, like I'm not 10 out of 10 like wowed anymore, but I'm gonna keep it. And then lastly, I have, or not lastly, so I have 3 ABH palettes. I have the Nouveau, keeping it. You couldn't convince me to give this away if you tried. I love this palette. This is the Rose Metals palette. I like this one the least, but I like it. Like, don't get me wrong, I like it, but not, not outrageously. So I have the Blood Money palette, I'm keeping it. And then I have trouble with this one. Not gonna lie to you. This is the Martine Cosmetics 669 palette. And I have an idea for a video with it. Oh, that is cool. It's just that, like, the formula, like, those duochromes are very shifty. It's just that the formula is odd. It's odd. I'm gonna keep it for now. It may end up at my boyfriend's house. The Bloodlust palette, this shall go nowhere. I think I'm gonna declutter this one. And this is pretty. I wanna keep one of these. I think I'm gonna keep this one here, and I'm gonna take this one. I've never actually used this one. I'm gonna take this one to my boyfriend's house. So these are the palettes going to my boyfriend's house. I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That's a solid number. I can live with that. So I got rid of 26 palettes. I got rid of, or I'm moving around like a quarter of my collection. That's not bad. Oh, I didn't mention my Harry Potter palette, but I'm keeping that one. So as of right now, I have exactly 71 palettes in my collection at home. We're not counting my collection at my boyfriend's. So that's how you do that. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you next time.